Hey, Flosstube. Happy Halloween. Tuesday, October 31st. It's sort of a gray day here in Western New York. No snow. It quit raining. The wind isn't blowing. So I guess that's all good. Anyway, I have lots and lots. I'm not even going to try to squeeze it into 15 minutes. We're just going to take the time it needs and then figure out how to upload. So anyway, I got back Sunday night from the Midwest Cross Stitchers Retreat, which sure I never mentioned I was going to. Um, but yes, I did go up to that, and it probably anybody who watches a lot of Flosstube already knows all about it and what it was about, and so on and so on. It was not specifically Flosstubers retreat. It was organized by Michelle, Farm Girl, and Joan of Made by Mama Joan. And so there were a handful of Flosstubers there and a whole lot of handfuls of not Flosstubers. So, and some who I don't think really watch Flosstube. I saw a comment on Facebook or something about now they would have to start watching Flosstube. So anyway, so flew out to Minneapolis on Thursday, met a person who was a woman who was needing a ride with me, and we went to Stitchville, which was way the highlight of this. And we met Michelle, Farm Girl, there, and we spent a couple hours shopping and had supper. And she took us out to the conference center where there were some other ladies that had arrived early. So that was very nice. We got to meet some people prior to the whole beginning of the event and get ourselves situated. Had been to the store, knew what to expect if should we need to go back. And anyway, it was a wonderful venue. It snowed. It snowed all day Friday, which to me, the area we were in, yes, it snowed. It didn't stick to the roads. So to us, that's not really much snow. We don't look at that like a big snowstorm or anything. Um, One year, my parents were at my house for Christmas and they lived where they didn't get snow and it snowed. But it wasn't much as snow. We don't think of it as much snow if you don't have to change your shoes. If you can just walk outside in your sneakers or whatever shoes you're wearing. And you don't have to put boots on or shovel the walk or anything. We don't really think it's much snow, and if the grass is showing, it is not. It's not snow. So my mother says to somebody on the phone she's talking to that day, "Oh, it's so nice to have a white Christmas and to see snow and so on and so on." My husband tells his brother, "No, we don't have any snow." So that's the difference. Yes, there was snow falling out of the sky. It looked pretty, but it wasn't anything to get excited about. Um, but it did make for a nice, cozy atmosphere. Nice that we got to stay inside the retreat. Should they host it in the same venue next year, you can all feel confident. It's well worth the money, worth the effort, worth the time. It's a conference center, so that's what it's there to be, not a hotel that happens to have a couple rooms that are used. So it's very, very nice. The food was spot on, perfect. The service, the rooms, everything was wonderful. So can't say enough nice things about them, and that Michelle and Joan really bent over backwards and did a ton of work. I've been to a bunch of retreats, quilt, lots and lots and lots of quilt retreats. I couldn't even count how many. In the teens, quilt retreats and at hotels and so on. And quite often we're left to manage all of our own things. We book our own room. If you're flying in, it's your problem how you get there. If you are anything, going to the store, whatever. Sometimes meals you're on your own a little bit. It just depends on what the arrangements are. So this was nice. We were on our own for food on Friday morning and lunch, but the hotel, of course, will serve you in the dining room. You just have to pay for the buffet, which was very pleasant, very enjoyable, better than your average buffet food. So anyway, enough about all that, and let's get down to business. So I went, and this is my first time ever being recognized out in public, which I understand you're going to a retreat where there's cross stitchers, so you would expect them to know who you are. I don't say no. I don't expect everybody to know who I am. You expect that there are people who will know who you are. I did not expect it in the store of somebody. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know them. So it's a new feeling. So I think floss tubers who have had it happen to them can relate. There was a little bit of conversation amongst us, the other floss tubers, at how awkward it made us feel in the beginning. Only we just don't know, we've never had that kind of thing happen to us before. So anyway, I made a list, and God help me, forgive me if I have forgotten anybody who was a floss tuber there. Obviously, Mama Joan from Made by Mama Joan and Farm Girl Michelle were there. I got to meet Rachel Danowitz and Becky, the obsessed stitcher. We ate dinner together one night and laughed and laughed and laughed. So very funny. And McKenna was there. And she's as sweet as can be. And Michelle, Bendy Stitcher, and Yvonne, the Night Owl Stitcher, I was very happy to meet because she and I think, have an awful lot in common. And Ginger Gerald was there, he was just such a gentleman and so nice to meet. And get to see Henry VIII in person, yay! And he was working on Let Freedom Ring, so it was fun to get to see somebody else's Let Freedom Ring. He's way further along than I am. So anyway, I apologize if I have forgotten somebody. I was racking my brain and picturing the tables and looking at the pictures. Not all the floss tubers were in the pictures that maybe got posted on Instagram or wherever else. So anyway, hopefully. And I had met the nicest ladies that sat at my table. I did not ask if it was okay if I said anybody's name, so I don't want to bring embarrassment to anybody. But yeah, you guys know who you are. We had a really nice time, and it was such a nice pleasure to meet all of you. So anyway, it was fun. Made for a fun weekend. I was glad to get home, sleep in my own bed, because you know how that is. I don't sleep outside of my own space, I guess, very well. So anyway, I got the chance to shop at Stitchville. Did I say that? Did I mention that yet? Stitchville? And that I kind of sort of found myself needing to go back on Saturday and check some things out again. So we'll go. I'm just going to show you quick. I'm not here to belabor all the purchases, because that's not really what I like to be about. But I do have a friend who we really wanted to go together, and it wasn't working with her schedule. So she said she wanted to see all the things, especially the fabric, because that was the thing that she would like to go and be able to touch and feel all the fabric. I think most of us have become familiar with seeing the patterns online and getting the pattern, and it looks just like we saw, but not always. We can't touch and feel the fabric. So anyway, let me just do a quick. I got the Trilogies Deck the Home, one of their little treats. It was a model on the wall. So see, I'm going to show you all the prices. You'll get to know what it costs too, because it's a kit. It was a model on the wall, and I really like Christmas things. So this was a spur of the moment. And I got just a little autumn bits by Pine Mountain, because I really don't have a lot of Thanksgiving things, and this one just kind of struck me with its color. And the June snapshots, I have the August one, and they had all of them there, and I just looked through and picked another one that looked like something I would like. My girls are real big into camping, so it's possible something like that would go to one of them. And then in the bathroom at Stitchville, they had posters that were pictures of a lot of the Victorian sampler pieces, and I like those, and I look at the patterns, and I talk myself out of them, and then which I did on Thursday when I went, but on Saturday I must have been feeling much weaker, because I decided I would get one. So this is the one I got. What's the name of it? Winter Holiday Sampler. Christmas, do I even need to say if it's Christmassy? It didn't look as complicated as some of them. I have done Victorian Sampler before, and I have the Victoria Sampler. I have some patterns. They're not all the band sampler style, though. And this was on my wish list. Carriage House Samplings Christmas Joyride. That I just, somehow it strikes me as that's sort of how it feels as you're preparing for Christmas, that you're on a wild ride. So basically those were my patterns. Not a whole lot of, craziness. And then I did get some fabrics. This one is Stormy Clouds, 32 count. I don't know who it's by. Who it's by is not always written on the tag. This is what the tag looks like. I'm doing this. In the event that you like it so much that you want to duplicate it, I really don't know, but I very much like having grays as an option, as a stitching option. And I got 2 little cuts. They're 9 by 10 of this with the dots on it, and it's 36 count. There were just a few just here and there in each size. There were a couple of these, so I just got 2 of them in 36 count, so nothing exciting. But if you wanted to do an ornament, and then I got a piece of vintage country mocha. It's just a little piece, like to do an ornament. So I just got some little cuts of that. This is the same thing. 36 count. We're going for light accuracy with lights. This is Picture This Plus Mellow 36 count, which is what I am doing my Let Freedom ring on, so I'm familiar with it. It's the little ornament cuts when you have a little fall piece or just a little something you want to do, and I don't want to cut into one of my big fat quarters. This is a piece of 36 count Legacy Picture This Plus. If somebody wants to see a tag again, if they're interested in further information, I don't really think in real life this is really as green as it's trying to look on here. Another piece of 32 count Mellow Picture This Plus. Picture This Plus is really my favorite fabric. So doubloon, Picture This, do I need to say it? Picture This Plus, 32 count doubloon. This one is a fat 1/8. So a big piece. And this piece, surprisingly of all, the tag has come off. There is no tag anywhere on here that I can find. And I didn't open it up and refold it, but I did look through all the edges. This is a 40 count. I don't know what to say, except its color is a bit more yellow than you're getting to see. I'm trying to hit the right spot on the camera. It's not happening. But 40 count, I don't think this is big enough. Oh, I'm still looking for the tag. One of my table mates, Diane, met a couple ladies from Texas, as sweet as could be. She and I are going to do the farms of Hawk Run Hollow starting in January. So one of the reasons why I picked up a nice big neutral piece of 40 count, well, no, it's really not the reason. When I went on the second time on Saturday, I said, I keep wanting to get one of the Hawk Run Hollows. I don't want them all willy-nilly. I just want one. I want the one that calls me the most. So sitting on the floor, pulled out all the patterns, spread them out. Nothing came to me as being, this is the one I want to stitch. So I put them all back, and I honestly, after I left and discussed it back at my table, don't remember if they had Farms of Hawk Run Hollow. They may well have. So then we chatted about it, and we decided that's what we were going to do, but we haven't committed to fabric yet. I don't have a pattern yet because I didn't think of it until it was too late. So I still think in my mind I knew I was going to do one of them. So this is a piece of 40 count, probably not big enough, but still. I need to do some practicing on 40 count. I'm sure I do 36 count. I'm sure I can do 40 count. So that pretty much ends my piles. I have whips and whatnots here to show you. So, oh wait, in the back of the store they had half price patterns, and so I lied, I wasn't done. On the half price table, I found a Prairie Moon, Holiday Farm, and a Homespun Elegant. Just the silhouette, what I really liked was the way it looked done in black with the package being the white that stood out, and a Victoria sampler. So much fun. Just cute. Just, when you see it half price, you think, okay, I'll do that. And then my one splurge, because it really was only one, was a Hindsight called Charmed Season's Greetings, and the frame. So honestly, what I really enjoy is that sort of very vintage Santa. So this will be a quick stitch. I'm not going to promise I'll do it this year. In a few years, I'll say, why didn't I just whip that up? Because I have 7,000 other things underway is why. So anyway, I swear my pile of purchases is empty, virtually. And we did an exchange. Anybody who wanted to do a piece could bring a piece in. So, and then we did an exchange, and we did it, what do you call it? Is that pirate exchange where you can steal from each other? So we did that. So first, this is the piece I took. Now, I had mentioned in a prior video or two that I had a small finish that I couldn't show you, and it was this because I made two of them, one for me and one for the exchange. And it was a darn good thing I did, because on this one, I trimmed it too close to the edge when I was cutting it. I use rulers and rotary cutters all the time, like every day, and I don't know what I was thinking when I cut this. So anyway, here's the one that I kept to put in my little bowl. And then I took the one I took was trimmed in a neutral tan. And you may see it on another Flosstubers video, because we got each other's. It is very funny. My name was chosen prior to hers. I knew I was stealing the item that was hers. That I knew. And she featured this on her blog, Yvonne, the Night Owl Stitcher. She featured this and just never said anything about she's making it to give it away. But she showed the buttons and how she uses her a Cricut cutter, the kind of cutter with templates that you use for scrapbooking. And so when somebody opened this, I had my eye on it. There were actually quite a few very, very well done pieces that would have been fun and easy to steal. Somewhere here I have the little tags that she's put in the gift bag. So she had some little tags that were made with her her paper crafting skills. So I am saving those. The twine isn't through them like it's supposed to be, but I am saving those. So then anyway, I stole it, and then hoped that everybody would forget about it as they came around and did their stealing. And then somebody else got apple picking. Apple picking is a Little House Needleworks Crescent Color thread pack, where you buy the pattern, you buy the two thread. I don't know if it's you're buying the pattern, you're buying the threads, and one comes with the other. And in this case, it came with the brown and the green. I don't know the name of the shades. And then you were to pick a red. So I can't tell you what they were. So anyway, there's that one and that one. So nobody came and, okay, so back up the train. Nobody came and picked Yvonne's from me, stole it from me. But somebody else had gotten the apple picking, and when it was Yvonne's turn, she went around the room and she did a little stealing, and it was just, I think, maybe you were, Yvonne, maybe you were watching. I think it was just happenstance that she picked the one that I made. So anyway, that was kind of a fun little coincidence. So there's those. Let me see. Oh, another woman, Diane's friend Joanne, who also came from Texas. This is mostly a little shout out to you. Joanne had some projects that she made herself, like designed. One was a wool applique, and the other was the fabric that she was going to stitch something on. And she talked about maybe hoping someday to actually design a pattern or two. I just want to say your work was amazing and impressive, and you should watch Arlene Cohen, watch her floss tubes. Hopefully there's some descriptions under which floss tubes, because she indeed in the course of making floss tube videos has started designing. She talks a lot about copyright and shows a lot of old stitching work and where and how she gets her inspiration. So you might find that interesting. But anyway, if you ever get to the point where you're setting up an Etsy store and this is still not making floss tubes, you can send me anything you want and I will promote it right here because it was fabulous. So anyway, there's that. It was fun, good times. And then, you know, if Mama Joan was there, then Mama Joan should have some made by Mama Joan bags. So I acquired a couple of those. I actually have this fabric that I haven't done anything with and have considered making project bags. Now I don't have to because I have a made by Mama Joan one. And in my made by Mama Joan bag is a whip I am working on. This Christmas tree by All Through the Night, which I actually bought on Stash Unload, but it's a current existing pattern in stores, so you know you could still get it. I took it with me to start to work on, and my objective was to find fabric and thread that matched so I could do it in a monochromatic. In the pattern, the recommended fabric is putty, so I looked at putty, and first of all, putty is made by a fabric dyer designer, I don't know, Weeks, that I just do not like the fabric. I don't like it. I don't like the feel of it. And I looked at putty, and it wasn't this kind of green that the picture gives you the impression that it is. So I wanted to go and I wanted to pick the thread and pick the fabric together so that I knew that they matched. So I got this piece of fabric to start it on. In the bag is the details. In the bag, there used to be the details of what the fabric was. It still might be here somewhere. And then I got a Karen silk to be, one big wad. I got 2 hanks of it to be the green that I work on. I'm just looking at the stuff because I did make an effort to save the little tag. It's not here, but what is somewhere around my house, I just saw it yesterday, was the other one of these tags, so maybe the sticker is on that. So that's in one of my made by Mama Joan bags. So let me put that back before I forget and lose anything else. And then another made by Mama Joan bag is a piece I just started. This was my Halloween day start. A bump in the night. I just wanted to do something that was sort of whimsical and Halloween, attempting Tangles design. So today I didn't have time to do a whole lot of anything. So, and it says a bump, and this is actually the roof of one of the little houses. In here it looks like it might be a bat flying upside down, but that's not what it is. And this one is being stitched on a piece of, honestly, I've saved the things. Where'd it go? It's a piece of fabric I got from the Crafty Kitten. Again, it's probably still in my stitching space. It's a very crinkly bag. I didn't get rid of it, so it's there. But it was just a pretty green that will work for that project. And another actual finish from my fall collection of little things I'm working on is Little House Needleworks. Blessed are the peacemakers. Peacemakers being the people who make peace, right? Not war, but peace. And I changed it to be the peacemakers like a quilter, because that's what I do. So there it is. It's just a quick little ditty on a 36 count R&R, I think it is, vanilla. Oh, French vanilla R&R, 36 count. It was one of the small pieces I bought when I was trying to test out 36 count. I used 1/2, and I'm not thrilled to death with the coverage. I don't mind it when you do the other things like the flowers, but when you're row by row by row like the house. So I don't know. 2 I think is way too thick. so I don't know if it's this particular fabric. You know, sometimes the fibers are a lot plumper, so this one not. I don't know. I don't know why such a difference, but it was fun and easy and cute, and I've had it forever. I think it came out in 2008. Then I also finally got to get off my Q Snaps, my Heaven and Earth design, Vibrant Vistas by Jane Wooster Scott. That's what it looks like. And it took me forever, because I have to keep stopping and doing everything else, to finish the final, well, it's a page and a half really that finishes out the top row. And then I didn't want to stop the trees at a row. I just went on down and finished the trees and a tree. And this is going to be the start. This is the outline of a barn roof. So I'm doing this 3 over 1, 25 count on, they call it the Magic Grid, Easy Grid, the stuff that Heaven and Earth Designs website sells. So each of these grids is actually 20 by 20. So I think it's 400 wide by 337. So it's going to be 3 pages plus a little bit. I've explained before why page 1 looks so different. Well, looks so different. It was a lot the same. It ended different. After I did page 1 and I bought the large print pattern, after I stitched page 1, except for the parts of the trees that I need to do when I start doing the rest of the tree, I went and bought the PDF large print, and the PDF large print, the pages actually were fewer stitches. So I had partway into page 2 done and partway into the bottom page, next row. Anyway, you know where I'm going. So hopefully I will manage another page before the winter exodus happens after Christmas. We'll see. I also took to work on, when I went away, a Mill Hill Buttons and Beads, the Pumpkin Patch Kit, because the perforated paper I can work on without a magnifier, and I knew there would be times to stitch when I wouldn't have a magnifier. So let me see if I have it right side up. I really just got some of the blue of the truck done. So no pressing need to get this done. I actually finished before I went this one, which I started back in May when I was away with my husband and also like at a hotel room and not having a magnifier. And it's not FFO'd. I just finished the beading and the stitching. And I think it's downstairs. I saw the package up here and thought it was up here, and that's where I quit looking for it. So I don't have it. Looks just like the picture. All right, so let me put this away. Just trying to be very organized. Let's see. I have another made by Mama Joan bag that must be downstairs. I took all my stuff downstairs and then thought, oh wait, I need to Flosstube. So I must have left that downstairs. But a gift that everybody got at the retreat was a little made by Mama Joan bag. I don't know what the sizing is. If there's a bigger one than the ones I bought. If this is, if there's a small, medium, and large, then what we were given was a small, and this one isn't. These that I purchased were mediums. I honestly don't know. But anyway, it was smaller than this for a small project. And then one of the attendees, a delightful woman named Penny, who traveled all the way from Maine, made us all a little Ort bags with fabric with beavers on it, which apparently are very prevalent in Minnesota. I don't know, land of 10,000 lakes, it should be no surprise. I don't really think they're drinking coffee, but you know what I mean. So let me look. I think I have almost made it to the end of my pile. The only other thing, I think, let me check my list. The names, the swap. Yes, this is the last thing. And because it's me, I have to show you pictures and not insert them, because that's how we roll. So I did one of those things that I think most of us as stitchers live in fear of being asked to do. But but I really did. I really volunteered myself. I have a friend who I quilt with, and years ago, I think more than 20 years ago, I think, because I think it was before her son is 22, and I think it was before he was born. She was gifted with a Debbie Patrick pattern for a house in the town that she's from, in the cross stitch pattern. She's still designing. We probably most of us know her patterns. Um, and so she diligently worked away on it until she reached a point where whatever number of mistakes were made, she couldn't rectify, the kind of thing that most of us as stitchers can know how to fudge a little bit. And so she just, set it aside and never picked it up again. And she kept saying, I want to show you that piece. I want to show that to you. I kept saying, sure, bring it, with no intention whatsoever of volunteering my services to finish it. But when she brought it, it was so cute. I said, oh, I'll finish it. So it just flipped. So it was this house. As you can see, this is how it came to me. It was on a piece of Aida. The Aida had some stains on it, like a stain from a needle and a stain. I don't know. You know how you stick something in a plastic bag and don't think about it for 20 years? So that's how it came to me. And she'd actually already done a fair chunk of the outlining, which I think maybe had a little something to do with my willingness to finish it. So here's what it would look like in its done version. So she had, discovered where she had made that she had made some mistakes and didn't know how to fix them. So here is the finished version. So I took out a little bit of my hand is touching the iPad, and so things are moving. So I had to take out a little bit of. All right, I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it better. So she had ended where she worked over here in this peak area. I had to take out what was in there and redo it because there really was a mistake that I couldn't just overcome. And then I don't think this was all undone. Oh, what a rocket scientist I am. One of the organizations I volunteer with, sometimes they have some trouble with like their computer equipment, and I'm like, oh, here, let me fix it. And I can until I come home. Anyway, here's the combination of three things. The pattern, the what was given to me, and what I finished. So I had to undo a little bit of the one part of the upstairs around the window and then stitch it in the tree and the downstairs. And there were some other mistakes. I just sort of had to close in on them. You know how you do? Like I went from the top down and I went from the bottom up until I could just work it all in. And then I did have to take out some of the outlining because some of it wasn't done in the right color. A lot of it wasn't done in the right color, but some of it just definitely wasn't right. And so I took some of it out, and then I continued to use the incorrect color for the parts that I did that matched. Like around the windows, I think was done in the wrong color. So anyway, that was kind of cool because she was just so beside herself that I finished it. It took me just a week of working, not exclusively on it. And I got to finish it and give it to her. So that was fun. But let's put it under the category of save the stitching or save the cross stitch, because really that would have ended up in the garbage. And now she is planning to frame it and hang it on the wall where she has all kinds of family pictures, a family tree and some things like that hung. So that's kind of cool that she gets to do that. So anyway, Halloween, not an exciting day. I live on a country road that's a couple miles long, and there's only about 20 houses, so we're very far apart. And nobody trick-or-treats up here. It's okay. My kids are grown. I don't miss it. Used to live across the street from elementary school in the town, and people would drive to the town to bring their children trick-or-treating. So we had more than our share of children over the years. So I'm good. I'm good with it. So anyway, as far as stitching, I'm just going to keep on keeping on. I did actually put a few stitches in Lantern Lane last night. Not enough to show you. I was doing like around the windows, inside the windows. And I don't know. I'll just do the little things and do the things. I only have to wait for one more early American, and then I can get back to that. That's probably the thing that's the pattern that's the closest to being finished. But I probably won't be the first thing finished. I'd like to think Lantern Lane, but who knows. Anyway, it's been fun. Back to the stitching. Hard to believe that November starts tomorrow. November starts being busy. My son turns 25 in November. It's Thanksgiving. We have some travel scheduled. Start of the Christmas shopping season. So anyway, it's been kind of nice. Have fun. Bye.